Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's session of Daily Current Affairs with Sathya sir. This is me, Satyanarayan from IQ Ideas, as I bring you important news updates and current affairs from a leading newspaper. I also point out interesting articles that you can read for improving your reading comprehension and, of course, words of vocabulary to enhance your English. So, without further ado, let's jump into the news headlines for today. As I open the newspaper, as usual, we have more news coming in from the West, but concerning India, Donald Trump and his tariffs. So the latest update is that Trump doubles tariff on India to 50%. And of course, the Indian government has said that this is unfair. So US President Donald Trump slapped an additional 25% penalty on most imports from India for buying Russian oil, bringing the overall duty on Indian exports to the US to 50%. India immediately hit back, describing the action as unfortunate, and said it will take all the necessary actions to protect national interest. The government said that while India was being targeted, the US had chosen to conveniently ignore similar action by other countries to secure their energy interests. For the government, it's also disturbing that China, which has been importing more energy from Russia, is being favored over India. There is a data table about highest rates for BRICS nations. So Brazil, this is part of the BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So Brazil and India have 50%, Switzerland 39%, China and South Africa 30%, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Taiwan, and Vietnam 20%, Indonesia, Malaysia, Pakistan, and Thailand 19%, Japan, South Korea, and Turkey 15%, and the United Kingdom 10%. So there's also a list of things which will be having a lot of tariffs. While smartphones and pharma are at 0 and oil products with no Russia link is at 6.9, the other things are shrimps at 50%, machinery and mechanical appliances at 51.3%, diamond gold and products at 52.1%, carpets at 52.9%, organic chemicals at 54%, woven apparel at 60.3%, and knitted apparel with 63.9%. Phew. So big tariffs. Below that, we have a news that Apple plans to invest $100 billion more in US. Apple plans to invest 100 billion more in US. Of course, a big news. So Apple Incorporated will announce a domestic manufacturing pledge of 100 billion US dollars on Wednesday that will focus on bringing more manufacturing to the US, a White House official said. Okay, so this is not an official announcement by Apple, but something which the White House is saying. A lot of pronouncements are made by the White House, but we will have to wait for the official announcement to be made by the company in question to see whether this is a reality. Okay, the company said in February it would spend 500 billion US dollars in the US investments in the next 4 years that will include a giant factory in Texas for AI servers. Let's wait and watch. On the other hand, RBI has said that Indian growth is robust at 6.5% more than US. Dismissing US President Trump's comment that India is a dead economy, the RBI governor on Wednesday highlighted the country's strong growth contribution to the world. I'm not the right person to react to the US President, Governor Sanjay Malhotra said, adding India's growth was robust at 6.5% versus 4% for the world. Of course, economists and others related to economy in India will have to give some strong statements to keep the people assured that we are going strong. In other news, there is speculation that the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, might be visiting China for the first time in 7 years. And this comes amongst all the tariffs which are being imposed by the US. So India and China are in touch about a likely visit by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the country for the Shanghai Cooperation Summit, SCO. Now, SCO is an acronym that which you must be aware about. So this is the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and SCO Summit is what is being expected. So the Shanghai Cooperation Summit from August 31st to September 1st. The PM is also expected to visit Tokyo for the annual India-Japan Summit along with China. Great news there. Okay, we move ahead to the next page. The city pages are not too relevant from viewpoint of exams. I'm going to quickly skip over those news. The state page again does not have something too relevant, and come to the nation page. Okay. The nation page, the biggest headline is SC Not, that would be the Supreme Court's not to Ungarodan Stalin scheme and slaps 10 lakh rupees cost on MP. Okay. Supreme Court on Wednesday said naming of welfare schemes after political netas was all pervasive in states and at center, and ruled that no exception could be taken to Tamil Nadu government's Ungarodan Stalin scheme. Ungarodan Stalin, I'm able to pronounce that because it is in Tamil, which literally means yours Stalin, Aapka Stalin. Setting aside the Madras High Court's July 31st interim order restraining the use of names of political personalities in any government scheme in Tamil Nadu, which goes to polls in April-May next year, a bench of Chief Justice Bhushan R. Gawai and Justices K. Vinod Chandran and N. V. Anjaria penalized the petitioner before the High Court, AIADMK MP C. V. Shanmugan, with rupees 10 lakhs. So SC nod to scheme named after political. Okay. Now, in other news, you have Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah writing to all national parties, including BJP, asking for the restoration of statehood to Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, so Omar Abdullah is asking to bring bill to restore statehood to Jammu and Kashmir. The restoration must not be viewed as a concession but as an essential course correction, one that prevents us from sliding down a dangerous and slippery slope. The statehood of our constituent states is no longer regarded as a foundational and sacred constitutional right, but reduced instead to a discretionary favor bestowed at the will of the central government. Okay, so this is in wake of the 2019 thingy where the center had nullified provisions of Article 370 of Constitution and reorganized Jammu and Kashmir state into two union territories, that is Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Okay, so Article 370 abrogation, J&K made into two UTs. Right, if I read that right, frustration into two UTs, that's right. Okay, but in other news from Jammu and Kashmir, Arundhati and Nurani books among 25 banned by Jammu and Kashmir. So Booker winner Arundhati Roy's Azadi is among the 25 books banned from circulation in Jammu and Kashmir by the Home Department, citing systematic dissemination of false narratives and secessionist literature, endangering India's sovereignty and integrity. Interesting. Okay, the next nation page again does not seem to have anything major to report. We have a special page, and a popular actor is at the center. Can he be the next MGR? So with 2.9 lakh office bearers, 69,000 booth agents, and targeting 2 crore members, TVK is gearing up for a direct fight with DMK and a victory on debut. Okay. So this is a pretty interesting article, but more relevant for people following politics down south. Right now, although BJP and Congress are the two big parties, with Aam Aadmi Party making its name in a couple of states up north, the south, especially Tamil Nadu, has always been ruled by either the DMK or the AIADMK, right? Or the power has always alternated between these two groups. Now, a new party has come up, which is the TVK, starring with actor Vijay. And this is focusing on that. Below, we have the half page for the nation, where we, of course, have a column by Sanjay Datta and Sachin Parashar, which talks about the oil purchases from Russia, and it is on the fact that the European Union bought more Russian energy than India since the Ukraine war, right? So that is definitely going to be an interesting article to read. And we move on with the news. Next, we have our middle page, my favorite for reading comprehension articles. Let's see how many of them are interesting. The main thing is the column by Uday Chandra, who teaches at Georgetown University in Qatar. It's not yes sir, no sir. So the EC's revision of voter rolls in Bihar shows not just that allegations of both BJP and opposition are overblown, but also that ordinary citizens are not passive actors. People can successfully negotiate with state. So this is an opinion article by Uday Chandra about the ongoing special intensive revision of the electoral rolls which are happening before the Bihar elections take place. We saw a lot about how the Supreme Court had to step in, how there was a deletion of a large number of people, I believe about 65 lakh names were removed. And of course, claims from the opposition that this is being done in a manner which is going to be beneficial for a certain party and not all. So what is the opinion of the gentleman is definitely worth reading. Below that, we have a column by Somnath Mukherjee, who's the CIO of an asset and wealth management firm. It says, in a hostile new world, can our government save us? With US and China weaponizing every piece of trade, India can't depend on them for mission critical technologies and products. It must manufacture these itself, and its private sector isn't up to the task. So seems to be a little bit of a pessimistic view about the ongoing tariff wars and its effect on India. The three columns to the left with Trump's angry face won't be Trump. The government of India has called out Trump's extra tariffs for what they are. He was wrong to think hegemony will work. Okay. What is the word here? Hegemony. To be very honest, even I will have to look up the meaning of the word. So definitely a great exercise for you. So below that, put ecology before economy while developing mountain infra or prepare for more dharalis. And below that, Bachikar Karya's column erratica are fault, only one more absurd cause for rape. So although it's supposed to be humor, it seems to be a little bit of a serious issue which she has written about today. The next is a special page, why desert states industrial hub is sinking. Flooding has become a part of life in Rajasthan's Bhiwadi. Locals are blaming a ramp erected by residents of Haryana's Daruhera. Okay, so that would be an interesting article. We get the global page next, as expected. Trump turned Putin, but the interesting news here is Trump hints once his MAGA movement's heir apparent. So heir apparent is obviously the next person in line to become the chief. And the MAGA movement is, of course, the one by Trump, Make America Great Again. So Trump hints Vance. Vance would be JD Vance, who's currently the vice president. So Trump hints that the MAGA movement's next leader will be JD Vance. Also suggests Rubio could get together with JD on GOP ticket. So President Donald Trump said on Tuesday that VP JD Vance was most likely to succeed him as the leader of the MAGA movement in what appeared to be his strongest public backing for Vance's political future. Interesting. We have Putin in news with sanctions deadline looming. Putin hosts Trump envoy for talks. So now it will be interesting to see what Russia's reaction is going to be regarding all the tariffs. Below that, Israeli military chief opposes plans to expand Gaza conflict. Defense minister says military will carry out the government's decisions. I believe yesterday we saw the news where Bibi was calling for a military takeover of Gaza, if I'm not mistaken. So Israel's military chief has pushed back against Benjamin Netanyahu's plans to seize areas of Gaza it doesn't already control. 3 Israeli officials said as the PM faces increasing pressure over the war both at home and abroad. Okay. In an interesting news at the bottom, it reads Afghan women turn to online courses as Taliban bans education. Taliban banning education seems to be a bit of an irony because the word Taliban, if I'm not mistaken, comes from the root word Talib, meaning student. Anyway, the next business page is about RBI keeping rates on hold and cutting the inflation forecast for financial year 26. Trump to unveil Apple's 100 billion US dollars US investment. Okay. The next page is devoted to techies. Why internships and agentic skills now trump mark sheets. In terms of career counseling, my partner and I have been discussing this a lot. And we are of the opinion that general degrees might not be of much allure to students in the coming years. People would would concentrate on getting relevant certifications. So this is an article where AI has shrunk the graduate doorway, how to be job ready on day one. Definitely an interesting piece of article that I'm going to recommend you read. The next page of sports, the biggest news, of course, not a news, but articles related to the ongoing cricket matches, so devoted to cricket. And the final page with general sports and nation-related news, but nothing catches the eye. So those were most of the news updates from today, significant articles. However, the big ones, of course, as usual, related to Trump and his tariffs. The news of Apple planning to invest $100 billion in US, at least as of now, announced just by the White House, will be tracked with great interest. Umar Abdullah's call to bring a bill to restore the statehood to Jammu and Kashmir. And of course, the Prime Minister's visit, forthcoming visit to both China and Japan is going to be of great interest and significance. With that, I bring today's session to an end. If you have liked this episode, hit the like button, share it with your friends, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Leave your comments below. Here's wishing you all the very best.